And we're live. So, Chris, you do magic.
Yes.
You were saying you originally got into it because a man with a rubber band came up to you in, was it IKEA?
It was IKEA, yeah. So I've always liked magic, always been a fan of it. But I knew a couple of basic card tricks and nothing else. And then when he done this elastic band trick, it blew my mind. And I needed to know how it was done. And that kind of started the journey.
It triggered the curiosity that you were talking about.
Yeah, and you've seen the trick, so what do you think of it?
It blew my mind. It, like you said, it brings you back to that childlike state of curiosity, and it did. For a moment, I was like, this cannot be possible. What mysteries are there that I don't know about the world?
A lot.
Yeah. I noticed on your Instagram page, have you worked with Darren Brown? Or was it a Darren Brown style show?
So yeah, I've during lockdown, I was furloughed, or am furloughed still. So I had a lot of time on my hands, and I've been playing with writing a show. So I had the idea and the concept, but not enough time to actually come up with tricks or anything like that. So so I've actually had time to sit down, write the show, script it, stage it. Haven't practiced it fully yet, but yeah, it's a Dan Brown-esque. So I've not worked with Dan Brown. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
but no, it's a mind reading mentalism type show. A full show, so about 75 minutes.
Oh, fabulous! And do you go into mentalism with that also?
But so there's no magic. It's primarily mentalism, so it's primarily kind of mind reading and that way inclined.
Fabulous, nice. What is it about mentalism that drives you more towards magic tricks?
So I've always liked two styles of magic. So I love close-up magic. So I love the fact that it can happen in someone's hand, so it happens right in front of them, and there's nowhere to hide as a magician. So I've always liked that effect. And then the stage mentalism, I've always admired Darren Brown and other stage mentalists as well. There's loads of them out there, but I've always kind of admired him. And if I had the opportunity to write a show and be able to do that and do that full time, it's something I'd love to do.
Yeah, a dream, totally. He's a master of what he does.
Yeah.
Have you seen the footage of where he convinces a girl that she has died?
Yeah, I've seen all his kind of shows he's done, plus a few of the Netflix specials. I've got a couple of his. He's released a little bit into the magic community, not a lot. So I've got a couple of his stuff as well.
Okay, well, you've got a couple of his things. Like
he's produced a DVD set for magicians. He's produced a couple of books which are just for kind of more magicians as well. So,
okay, fabulous. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, there was a magic trick that blew my mind with the napkin.
Yeah,
that's when I saw your page. That really excited me. That sticks in my head. And there's always some sort of a trick that you see and it stays there. Is there a trick like that for you that you'll always remember?
I'll always remember the elastic band trick. Yeah. The moment when it passes through. The thing is, with learning magic, and it's kind of like the Matrix. So you've got two pills. If you take the red pill and you jump down that rabbit hole, you can never go back. You can't watch magic or a magic trick without kind of thinking about the methods or how it might be done.
Yes,
so it kind of takes away some of the amazement. It's still great. You can appreciate the skill and how it's done and everything else, but it's not the same as when you're not knowledgeable in magic and you watch it and it has that kind of wow factor.
Yes, of course. It's like watching someone play guitar, and if you know how to play guitar, you can still admire it. Like that's brilliant, but it's not got the same impact.
Yeah, I guess. I don't play guitar, so.
I play a little bit. I'm not so great. Are you into any other skills other than the hard-working art of magic?
I'm doing currently an online hypnotherapy course to get into, just for something else to kind of do and a little kind of sideline. So if something like a future lockdown does happen, then I have a different kind of way to approach life and business.
Totally, yeah. You can be in the queue, and if all the baked beans have sold out, you just hypnotize someone to give you their baked beans.
Well, hypnotherapist is more the therapy side of things than a hypnotist. Right. So hypnotist is, I do minor hypnosis and stuff like that for part of my kind of walk around and stage stuff. The stage show I've written doesn't have hypnosis in it, but the next one I've got ideas for does.
Oh. I did think before starting this podcast that it may be a bit difficult talking about magic because you don't want to reveal the backstory, but are you okay with talking about what sort of hypnotism tricks you'll do for your show?
So yeah, I mean, it starts off with some simple stuff. So again, it depends on how receptive people are, and especially when you've got an audience of, say, anywhere between 50 and whatever upwards it will go up to. So it starts off with a basic kind of hand stick principle, so where the group's hands kind of stick together. Oh. And then there's later things where I kind of choose individual people to do certain things which they wouldn't normally be able to do unless they were under a state of hypnosis.
That they wouldn't be able to do?
Wouldn't want to do.
Oh, right, okay.
Not in a kind of, again, depending on how old your audience is. Paul McKenna, who used to kind of make people cluck around like chickens and stuff like that on stage, none of that stuff. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But more of a kind of maybe eat a lemon, which they wouldn't normally eat, or do something which they wouldn't normally do that way. Yeah,
something against their will that isn't harmful or embarrassing, humiliating.
Exactly, which when we're under the effect, it doesn't have, afterwards they might need to spill some water or something, but during it, there's no harm.
God, that is brutal. That sounds like so much fun.
It should be, yeah. Obviously, again, it's one of those where there'll be a lot of trial and error to get to where it needs to be.
To get it to where it needs to be.
Yeah, to be able to perform it and go out and actually do it as a show, you obviously need to practice on individuals, groups and stuff like that to get it, make sure you're kind of having the impact and everything.
Totally, yeah. You were saying earlier about the effect rather than just the trick.
Yeah, so it's something I feel strongly about. So a lot of magicians do magic tricks. And a lot of people could learn a magic trick. So as I was saying for you, there's self-working card tricks, which before I got into magic, I used to do. So where there's no kind of actual need, it's a kind of more of a mathematic card trick. Okay. So something like that where they're great, and they really are great. Sorry.
That's right, no worries, I do it every episode.
Yeah, so something like that where they're great, but it is a magic trick. But you want to make it more memorable if you can. So you want to, if you can, make it into a magic effect. So something where it will have a memorable moment on that person. Something they'll remember for more than just performing once. Totally.
Yes, 100%. With the glass trick, if it had just been shown, they were like, look at the glass, and it's gone. It sticks I suppose it sticks in my head, but if they'd told me a timeline of this glass, like you were saying about the ring, it symbolizes marriage and it's going up and down. If they told me the glass as a metaphor, I feel like that would have hit me even harder. It's personal. It gets into your emotions.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's hitting the emotions. And it can be emotions as in sad or happy feelings, laughter, whatever it is. And, there's some fantastic comedy magicians out there. So they're hitting emotions on the comedy side of things. So, I mean, I've been performing for people and they've kind of said, I had a magician at my wedding. Oh, when did you get married? Oh, a couple of years ago. Oh, who was he? I don't remember. Do you remember anything he did? No, not really. So they remember having a magician, but they don't remember his name, what he did. So has he had the impact? Has he or has he just kind of gone and performed some tricks?
Yeah, gone through the motions.
Yeah. And I suppose not being a full-time magician, hopefully I don't kind of fall that route. I know that some people kind of get stale and they just it is, like I said, just going through the motions. It's their job, they just repeat it. But I haven't hit there.
That's really good. God, how does it feel for you when you're up there in front of the audience and you're impacting?
So I've only done a little bit of stage. Primarily I do close-up. It's amazing. It's literally, I remember the first gig, when I got home from my first gig, this was in Freshwater near Bridport. And I got home 11:30ish. Okay. And the wife turned around to me and said, you been drinking? I was like, no, I was that giddy. I was that kind of high from it. Yeah. But I couldn't go to sleep. I just kind of sat there for a couple of hours, just kind of the buzz.
Yeah, I totally get that as a performer myself. It's exciting. I wonder what it is that you feel like you've lifted the emotions of an entire room of people. Yeah,
you've impacted them, haven't you? You've changed their evening in a way which they didn't expect to happen. So whether it's you as an actor doing a play and then you've kind of impacted them that way, me as a magician just showing them something which might take them back to childhood memory, might just kind of remember something. So
that childhood memory thing fascinates me. I didn't really think about it too much before doing this about how much it takes us back to our roots as a child, the element of wonder.
Of course it does. It's what magic does, isn't it? It's kind of, like you said, it's that moment of wonder. And for a child, they remember magic. And so that's why it suddenly goes back. That, you know, when you're a kid, you believe in fairies at the bottom of the garden. Yeah. Things like that, which are magical. A fairy is a magical being.
Yeah.
So, and then all of a sudden, for someone to make a card float in front of you, or a lasset band pass through another lasset band, or find your card, make it disappear and appear under your drink or something like that, all of a sudden, it's a moment where you can't explain it.
Yeah.
So it just takes you back.
Yeah. It helps us adults in our really busy lives just escape into fairyland.
Yeah, and I think that's where social media has helped me a lot during kind of lockdown. So I know you've only probably recently checked out my social media.
Yes. Yeah.
But at the end of May, I started to do, it was only starting off to do about 30 and then 50, but I did 100 days of magic. So every day for 100 days, I did a magic video.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, so went on Instagram and Facebook, and the theory was it just breaks up people's days a wee bit, because a lot of them were sat at home. A lot of people were either furloughed or locked down or couldn't go out, and it just gave them a minute to get away.
Yeah. To escape. Yeah. How did you manage to? I didn't even realize. Well, of course, that many tricks exist, but the variety within the tricks.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are a bit samey.
Okay.
So, you know, you could do a card trick where you produce 4 aces, and then you could do another card trick where you produce 4 aces, but in a completely different way.
Right. Yeah.
So a little bit samey. And I mean, I think when it got to about 60, 65 tricks, I was okay. And then from then, I was kind of like having to learn something each day to post.
Oh, wow. Whoa. So it was a really good learning experience for you as well.
Yeah, lots of practice, lots of new stuff. I think where it all kind of came to, it was a lot of stuff I do, like I said, is interaction magic. So with social media, you can't interact. So you can't say, pick a card. You have to kind of just say, look, honestly, it is a random card. And
yeah,
I've always said throughout it, whatever I've done, I could do in person.
Of course, yeah. That's really good. It reassures people. Did you have any critics that were ever like, you're not doing this? For sure.
There's a couple of tricks where they could look like they're not done. They are camera tricks. I personally don't like it, but there's a couple of tricks where you kind of look at it, and one I'll probably show you later, because it's kind of, there's no way your mind can think that something like that can happen, especially right in front of you.
Right. What was the trick?
You'll see it.
Yes, that's true. I'll just be patient for a moment. That's interesting, the difference, because like you said, when you don't have the audience across from you, you don't have the impact. Do you think that sort of took the buzz away a bit as well?
No, because I got a lot of good feedback from it. So I got a lot of feedback from Facebook, Instagram. It's what made me kind of come on and do different podcasts, so yours and many others.
Yeah.
Some I've contacted, some people contacted me. So that's really interesting. I've also done a couple of vodcasts.
Podcasts?
Yeah, so video
I
versions of
didn't
podcasts.
even know they existed.
Well, apparently.
Oh,
I'm new to the world, so yeah. So where they are only on video, so they're on like Facebook and and YouTube and stuff, so they're not actually just an audio version.
Right, yeah.
So I've done a couple of those where they approached me. I was recently asked to write a page in someone's releasing a magical ebook. They've done 52 days for 52 weeks of the year, and it comes out on Monday. On Instagram, and he asked me to write one of the pages, and he's got some big names in the magic community writing pages as well, and I was like blown away that someone just randomly asked me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good just from doing a little bit of social media. So yeah.
Oh, maybe destined to be the next Darren Brown.
Who knows? Again, I think at the moment where we can't perform, it's just taking each day at a time. And if people are going to ask me to do something like that or be on a podcast or anything, then it's fantastic.
Of course, yeah. It's an opportunity to do what you love or talk about what you love, be involved in it.
Yeah.
Are you involved in the magical community much?
So I belong, there's a group in Poole called the Wessex Magic Association, which I belong to, which is a magic club. I'm a council member of that. I'm in charge of the social media side, but obviously there's not much kind of going on for them to be able to take photos and stuff. So, and then, yeah, the next plan is to become a member of Magic Circle, which is obviously the London Magic Club, the biggest one in the world.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, that's the next kind of plan.
That sounds very witchcrafty, the magic circle.
The Magic Circle, well, for people who know, so all kind of famous magicians are pretty much a member of Magic Circle. So they have something like 1,500, 2,000 members across the world. You have to be nominated and seconded by 2 members, and you have to then perform for the members of the council.
Oh, that sounds even more witchcrafty. There's a whole initiation process.
Well, there is, even for the little local club I belong to, there's a initiation. So it's just a proof that you actually have some knowledge of magic. You're not going there to try to learn.
Like an audition, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Do you have anything in mind that you'd go for the audition? Any tricks?
The one we were talking about, so obviously I do the elastic band trick, but the one with the ring, so the married version. And the reason is because that's something I came up with. It's something which not many people know about. So with that version, it's more storytelling with the magic in it. And I think that's, as I was saying earlier, and you were saying, it's got the emotional impact. And I think that's where I would love to show what I do more than just doing a few tricks.
Yes, the original aspect to your work is the emotion.
Yeah.
Rather than the trick. Wonderful. Hopefully in a few years I'll see you in the Magic Circle. And
Well, yeah, hopefully in a couple of years I'll be touring and you'll be come and see the show or something.
I would love to, yes.
That
I
would
will
be the
keep
ideal
following you.
situation, so
Oh, what a dream. What a dream, for sure.
that would be great.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you know of the difference in magic through different countries?
I know from, not really, to be honest
Okay.
with you.
That's
I've been to America. I was in America last year. The wife very, very kindly for my 40th paid for me to go to Las Vegas for a week to one of the conventions out there. So that was fantastic. I met magicians from all over the world. But I know that when you kind of go to some Middle Eastern countries and stuff like that, they don't like magic just because obviously the voodoo side and the spiritual side of things. So
Yeah. Do you know if China has a magic element?
yes.
It does?
Yeah. There's some very, very good Chinese, Japanese magicians.
Okay. Do you know what sort of tricks they do? Because I've seen like something to do with fireworks, if that came from magicians.
Don't know. I know they do fans, so a lot of fan magic. They do umbrellas, so like the miniature umbrellas and stuff like that. I don't know whether that originates from Japan or not, but they do a lot of that kind of stuff. There's a fantastic magician from one of the Oriental countries, I don't know which, who does sand magic, where he's in a pile of sand and he stands there and he kind of makes it kind of move and flow and then stop and carry on and stuff like that. It's really, really good.
Oh, that's fast. It looks a bit like the Force from Star Wars.
Yeah, that idea.
That's really cool. Nice. Do you think you'd ever go into anything more than like any thing that uses a big prop like an umbrella or sand?
I don't know. I would personally doubt it.
Okay.
The umbrella and the sand stuff's fine, but the big stage illusions where, something closes, then a car suddenly appears, I've never personally, I enjoy watching it, but been a fan of it. Because even when I wasn't a magician, I kind of could figure out how things were done.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Like the trick, the classic trick where they're lying down and they get chopped in half.
yeah,
There's like a secret compartment where they put their legs and there's like a fake pair of legs. Is that right?
I'm saying. Don't know.
Again,
Again,
okay.
it's not something I've ever gone into. So
Okay.
I kind of got ideas how it's done, but I don't actually own it or researched it. So,
Right. Of course. You know more about the close-up stuff,
Yeah.
which you don't really want to do on an audience member. I don't think they'd appreciate that.
well,
too much.
go along and chop them in half.
Well, yeah, I don't think that would be the most amusing thing at a wedding.
Be interesting, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. It would.
Yeah.
Memorable.
Yeah.
Totally.
They never forget it, would they? Obviously, I think it's one you could only perform once before you go to jail. So,
That's true. Yeah, you'd have to be quick. You'd have to have a disappearing act to follow it.
just in a puff of smoke.
Oh, excellent. That's where the Chinese side of things come in, the fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Do you enjoy fireworks?
Yes, however, we've kind of changed, me and the wife's kind of our philosophies quite a lot over the years. And as we've kind of got more animals, we're cat people like you are, obviously. So as we've kind of got more animals, the noise they make, but also actually I didn't realise how bad they were for the environment.
Oh, really? How
Yeah.
so?
I don't know. I haven't researched lots, but there's lots of people saying they're bad for the environment. I know obviously the paper and everything else which is involved in them, but obviously the ash or the explosions or something must be bad for it. But that's what I've kind of read, but I've not researched it.
A lot of them have plastic on as well, so you're essentially littering every single time you set off a firework.
Yeah, because they go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the animals, like you said.
Yeah.
It's really bad for their mental health. Wow. You mentioned hypnotherapy earlier. Do you know if that exists with pets as well?
I'm sure you get cat whisperers, horse whisperers, dog whisperers who say they can do things. I don't know. Yeah. To me, I suppose a cat can feel down. I suppose an animal can feel down and upset and depressed, something like that, especially where you might have had two cats, brother and sister, who've grown up together, one passes away and the other one's bound to be upset. It's kind of natural for they've been part of their life the whole time. But
of course, I suppose it's a bit more natural to let them heal rather than hypnotizing them to feel.
Well, how would you know that the person who's doing it is doing it? Because you can't talk. Yes, you could probably read a cat's emotions, but surely the owners would be able to read them better because they know the cat's emotions and kind of how they normally act.
Yes,
like
totally.
when your animal's ill.
Yeah.
Because they're not as bouncy or walking the same way or whatever else. A random person will go, oh, your cat's walking strange. Oh, no, that's how it always walks. You wouldn't know.
Yes, 100%.
So, no, I don't know whether it will work on animals.
You'd have to have a cat translator to join it. That's just too much money.
If they exist.
Do you know if they do?
I doubt it. I don't know. I expect someone's created something somewhere and it's probably not real.
No, I can't imagine it to be.
Every year my wife tells me that the cats talk to her on Christmas Eve after midnight, but...
What was that, sorry?
Apparently, Christmas Eve, the animals talk to you on Christmas Eve after midnight.
Oh,
apparently.
okay.
They don't. She's just a little bit crazy about cats, so...
Oh, brilliant. That's good. Adds more fun to marriage. When your partner is a bit crazy.
Well, she married me, so...
Oh, fun, yeah. Was it the magic?
No, because I wasn't doing magic when we met.
Oh, of course, yeah. You
So-
met the magician together, the red guy.
Yeah, so she kind of started me on this journey more than anything else by buying me, kind of taking me to the shop on my birthday, so...
Oh, fabulous. So does she still sort of motivate you through it? And
Not so much.
okay.
The problem is, because obviously she's my guinea pig, so when I learn something, you're like, can I show you something? She's like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, of course.
But also there's a little bit ruined for her, because once I do something and I do, she's then, how do you do that? And I'm not going to tell you. She's like, how do you do that? I'm not going to tell you. She's like, and she bugs me. And it's not like I can walk away because we live in the same house.
Yeah.
So I eventually tell her, she said, why did you tell me that? Now you've ruined it. Yeah, the irony of it. But
just a tad.
And I say that to her every time. It's like, if I tell you, you're just going to moan at me that I ruined it. Well, you've ruined magic anyway. I know, I can sit there and watch someone and say, oh, he's done this and that and that. So she knows bits of it anyway. So, yeah.
Well, do you think she's able to perform any tricks of her own?
She doesn't want to.
Oh,
I taught her some elastic band stuff and some basic card stuff so she could go into work. Obviously, when she tells people she's married to a magician, we're like, oh, we want to see some magic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've taught her stuff and she kind of practices for a bit and then she goes, no, I can't bother.
Yeah.
Because, the elastic band one earlier took me one solid day at work not working just to get the move down. Mm-hmm. And then about 3 weeks, about an hour and a half a day, just to be able to do it smoothly, and then still it wasn't smooth.
Oh my God. The one that you just showed?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's such a simple trick. I thought it would be a quick... what about the
that one?
The levitating ring?
That's quite easy to do.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's to do it with a little bit of finesse, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour.
Oh, right. Okay. I want to learn that one, so I'll have a look into that. God.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you're okay with revealing how the passing through rubber bands happens.
Not going to happen.
Okay.
It's my signature trick. If someone sees me in the street says, Chris, show me a magic... you're the magician on Facebook, show me a magic trick. I'd normally have ladder bands on me and that's what I do. So, right. No, I'm afraid I'm not going to reveal it.
Understandable. It would take away the fun, the mystery.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. I will probably Google it afterwards because I really want to be able to go to shoots, but I'm not going to reveal it to all the listeners.
Okay.
That's just unfair. Really something I want to kind of get into now. I like little tricks. Like, Do you know Rubik's Cubes?
Yeah, I've asked for so I've not had a Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
A lot of some magicians do a lot of Rubik's Cube magic, some don't. So I've asked for one for Christmas, so just to kind of practice.
Okay. What sort of magic can you do with a Rubik's Cube?
So you can do ones where you kind of put it behind your back, throw it over, and it solves. It's you kind of throwing it and self-solving and stuff like that. Putting there's lots of stuff. So
Wow, that's really cool. Okay. It's something I can branch out into after figuring out the Rubik's Cube.
yeah, there's algorithms, isn't there, to ways to kind of figure out how to solve a Rubik's Cube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So again, not something I've looked into a lot. I know when I was a kid, a Rubik's Cube used to frustrate the hell out of me.
Yeah.
So hopefully I don't mess it up to the stage where I can't fix it again. But then I know a lot of magicians who can do Rubik's Cubes and solve them within a minute kind of idea.
I have a friend that can do that. We call him Joe the Cube because you give him a Rubik's Cube in a few minutes, he'll give it back to you solved.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. I was sat with him the other night and he was trying to teach me for so long how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and he was going, right, you got this algorithm, this, and I'm sat there for ages.
Yeah, I think there's lots of YouTube videos and stuff like that on the algorithms of it as well, and there's probably plenty of books and stuff, but like I said, it's something I've not gone down yet.
Right, of course.
So one day.
Are there any other tricks that you go into other than rubber bands, Rubik's Cubes, mentalism? I can't remember the other ones.
Card tricks. So
Yeah.
obviously the staple of all magicians. Yeah, I do several different kinds of card tricks depending on what people want. There's one which actually works for, it's not a card trick as such, but works a little bit for audio if you want to try it.
Oh, yeah, I'd enjoy that.
So obviously in a deck of cards, you've got 52 cards.
Yeah.
Don't think about the suits, but you've got ace through to king. Okay, I want you to think of one of the values. And obviously anyone can do this as well. So think of a value for me.
Okay.
You got that?
Yep.
So if you're thinking of a picture card, a queen, a king or a jack, I want you to change it to a number card. Or if you're thinking of a number card, I want you to change it to a picture card.
Okay.
Done that?
Yes.
Now, if you're thinking of a number, if you've got odd number, change it to an even number. If you're thinking of a king or a jack, change it to a queen.
Okay.
Done that?
Yeah.
Okay. So with cards, there's some cards which are associated with other cards. So let's say if you were thinking of the ace of, right now, you would probably think of the ace of spades, which would be associated to the suit, yeah? Okay. So the card you've got in mind, think of what suit might suit it. And obviously listeners can do this well. Got one?
Yeah.
Now, 90% of the time, this is correct.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm holding one card in front of me.
Okay.
Ali, what card are you thinking of?
Queen of Hearts. No. What? What? Yeah, there's a Queen of Hearts in front of me.
Yeah, and like I said, 90% of your listeners probably would have got that exactly same as well.
How? I guess it's sort of, it's sort of like those number games where you sort of narrow it down, or it must be.
I know he's going to be listening to this, picking it apart later.
I will be. Yeah. Wow, that was fun. So you do a lot. Sorry, I was gonna say, do you do a lot of tricks that are like more based on the because that's very mentalism based, I assume.
I love both. Again, close-up mentalism is different to stage mentalism, just because of how you have to kind of interact and what you need to do with people. Right. So, yeah, I love it all, really, to be honest with you. And I think when I learn something new, which I think is going to be applicable to add to either a walk-around set or a stage show, I kind of keep it somewhere in my mind or make notes of it somewhere so I know exactly what I want to do. So I've redesigned my whole walk-around set during lockdown.
Okay.
So change what I used to open with and what I finish with and how I interact a little bit with some of the tricks.
Okay.
And then the stage show, like I said, just been, nailing it and just moving tiny tweaks.
Okay. Fab. What sort of tweaks did you have to make for lockdown? What,
for performing wise or?
Yes. Yeah.
So everything I had performing wise from March cancelled. So the only gig I got was a socially distanced kind of family show on Halloween.
Okay.
I never, although I know a little bit for it, I've never advertised or did a Zoom show. So a lot of magicians kind of went we're going to have to try to do Zoom shows for family, friends, and business and stuff like that to kind of keep an income coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't something which interested me.
Okay.
So that's why I've kind of worked on the other side of kind of writing, rescripting, changing sets, and kind of social media.
Yeah. Totally understandable. You're going to have an incredible act by the end of it for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Again,
True.
I think my next gig, which I've got booked, is going to be March for a wedding. And again, depending on vaccine and stuff like that, whether it will happen or not, I don't know. So it's one which moved forward from last year to next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be weird going out and performing again to strangers, because obviously when you're doing it constantly, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when all of a sudden you've taken a involuntary 8-month plus break,
Yeah.
it's going to be a bit weird.
There's going to be some tricks that might go wrong even.
I doubt it, because you
Okay.
still practice.
Oh, yeah,
it's just going to
of course.
be the interactions, isn't it? It's going to be, but also I think that if it happens, then people are going to be more excited to see it, because they've not, apart from seeing it on TV, YouTube and stuff like that, they've not been able to see anything live.
Of course, yeah. It'll be an even fresher experience than Magic before.
Yeah, I think that the entertaining art as a whole will, not just magic, but music and comedians and everything else, in theory, those who manage to stay and keep going will probably profit from the moment they can do a live show.
Oh, so more than they would have if lockdown hadn't happened, sort of.
Well, it would have been steady. And I think that's what, it's such a strange thing. And I was thinking about this and talking to someone about it the other day, where if lockdown hadn't happened, I would have carried on working. Next year, I would have been busier than I was this year. But would I have been to the level I wanted to be at? Would I have done a podcast? No. Would I have changed my walk around and routine? Maybe a little bit. Would I have wrote a stage show? No. Because I would have been working as well.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't have grown my social media like I have as well. So actually, lockdown has been a blessing in some strange aspects. But it's given me the opportunity to do bits I didn't think I would do.
Right, yeah. Of course, it's done the exact same for me. This wouldn't exist without lockdown.
Yeah.
I started learning Chinese at the start of lockdown. I stopped doing that actually when lockdown ended.
Okay.
It opens up so much time for us to be able to expand on these things.
Yeah.
And like you said, if lockdown hadn't happened, you would have carried on working at a steady pace, and your act may have possibly stayed similar.
Yeah, it might have done small changes because it always does. But I think I would have just slowly grown. And I think actually lockdown, and I think that when I post on, especially Facebook, more than Instagram, I do both. But when I post on Facebook, because I post it in the local kind of business and community kind of pages as well, it gets a lot of views. So I think my average video views up to about 1,000 people viewing it, and it reaches about 5,000 people.
That's quite a lot.
Per video. So, and when I was doing it daily, I was doing some other kind of funny daily posts as well during one point because I was really bored, and I'd done that for about 20 days. Some of those reached 30,000 people.
Oh my God.
And they were kind of more interactive ones. You know, the pictures where you see there's two images and it's like, what do you see first, a woman or a skull or stuff like that? Because people were interacting on them, it just meant that there's a lot of algorithms to do with social media.
Yeah, definitely.
So whenever you post anything on any social media, you have to kind of go on and like, comment, and everything else on other people's posts for about 20 minutes, half an hour beforehand, for your algorithm to be higher up to appear on more people's feed.
Well, so another person's post can impact yours?
Yeah. So especially Instagram.
Yeah.
So if you're posting on Instagram and you wanted to reach more people and your hashtags to have more effect, you need to go onto Instagram about half an hour before you're going to post. You need to comment, you need to like on people's posts and stuff like that to show that you're an active user rather than just going on and posting.
Oh my God. Okay. I'll definitely do that. That would help.
So by doing that, it gives you a higher hit rate on your post. It means that you appear on more feeds, your hashtags, you appear higher up on the hashtag search. So again, when you look at hashtags, you've got some hashtags which might have 1 million followers or 1 million people generally view it.
Yes.
You want to find hashtags which have got normally between 70k to 100k, because that means you'll be higher up on that list.
Of course. Yeah, what I was going by was the opposite, because I Googled it, how do I grow an Instagram page fast? And it was saying that, sorry, you're doing some really cool, like...
Oh, just playing around, sorry.
No, it's awesome. You're subconsciously able to make a star. And And what it was saying was you want to go for the hashtags that have more followers. But my initial thought before reading that was exactly what you said. You'll be further up on the list with rare hashtags.
Yeah, you don't want it too rare.
Yeah.
Because if it's too rare, it's probably not searched for. So if you've got less than 5,000, it's probably not worth looking at.
Okay.
You're probably around the 15K mark for the basic ones. And then up to... It's good... Again, you can have up to 30 hashtags. So it depends on how many you use.
Okay.
So it's good to have a couple of the big ones on there. Because you might just find someone finds you that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get around 100 to 250K, that's kind of where you want to go.
A good mix. Okay. I will definitely use it because before I had the idea of you want to go as rare as possible because someone will search for...
Yeah, but you might get that one person.
Yeah. That's
so you gain a follower.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
So because I think I've doubled my kind of following. So I had about just over 1,000 before lockdown. I'm up to 2,1 something or other. So...
To what, sorry?
About 2,100 and something.
Oh, brilliant.
So
nice.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's slow work, though.
Of course, yeah. It's a very gradual process, gaining followers on social media. Do you think there's going to be a mix between technology and magic in the future?
It already is. Again, some of the stuff I do can involve phones. So I used to do a sponge ball routine where I used to basically go up to people and show them. I used to have a picture of a sponge ball on my phone. And I used to go up to them and just go, look, it's a picture of a sponge ball. I'm a magician, I use props. But obviously being on my phone is pretty useless. And I then used to pull a sponge ball out of my phone and the phone went blank.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
So there's already integration.
Okay. What other I think I kind of understand how that works. You sort of hold the foam ball underneath and then drag it out. I don't want to say anything. I keep going into how it's done. I don't want to ruin your tricks.
I don't do it anymore, so it's fine.
Okay, so
I'm still not going to tell you.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I can respect that. What other ways does technology come into?
So you got some magicians in America do like laser show magic.
Oh, okay.
So that's one way it comes in. There's a lot of people, or people do iPad magic as well, or they have big screens where they interact with those and pull things out of nowhere. So there's
cool.
French twins. I can't think what their names are, and they would have a big, like, wall-sized screen, and then all of a sudden they got something would float past like a balloon. They just grab the balloon and pull it straight out, stuff like that. So
that's cool. I'd love to know how that works. That's fascinating. And you were saying about laser shows. What sort of?
It's not something I do. I met a guy when I was in America called Ryan. Ryan, I can't remember the surname now. He's going to shoot me for it as well. But I met a guy called Ryan, and he does a lot of stage show stuff, and he's been on like Master Revolution and stuff like that, which is an American kind of touring group. And he does a laser show where he kind of puts his hand out and lasers stop and interacts with them. And
oh, that's cool. That must obviously be planned out beforehand with the...
I guess, but I don't know.
Never know. He could be using the Force.
It could be.
Excellent. Wow. I never knew that was... Oh, sorry, I'm moving your microphone.
That's okay.
I'm used to having a very large table. Yeah, I never knew there would be so much diversity in magic. I always thought it was a few card tricks and then the big stuff on the stage, but not... I never thought elastic bands would come into it.
Oh yeah, and then you've got the middle ground, which is what we call a parlour show. So that's where you can have, like, you're sat at a table and you can have between like 10 and 30 people kind of standing around or sitting around. So, and that's kind of, again, more interactive. Okay. So, but it's not you moving around, it's you sat there and people come up to kind of see it.
Ah, right, okay. So you could do it in a restaurant sort of setting? Or?
Yeah, restaurant's more walk around. You can do it as a restaurant. It's more, especially during lockdown, something I was looking into for a couple of people which cancelled because of lockdown, but house parties. So I'd go into a room and then a group of, say, 10, 12, 15 people, whatever, would come in at a time. Yeah. We then do a set, 15, 20 minutes, however long they kind of want. Yeah. It's interactive, it's fun, and then they can kind of go, don't tell anyone else, and then the next group can kind of come in.
Brilliant. That sounds like a hoot, for sure. It's a mix between, I guess you still got the buzz from that you got from stage shows.
You get the buzz from all of it. Doesn't matter what it is.
The whole thing.
Yeah, if you enjoy it, like acting.
Yes.
If you enjoy it, it doesn't matter whether it's to one person or whether it's to 50 people. So,
Yeah, I suppose. For me, that...
well, for me anyway.
No, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I did an audition recently where it was filmed, and my friends were reading out the lines, and yeah, it gave me that buzz. Just the fact that my friends were seeing me act.
Yeah.
It's, I guess part of it's showing off, in a way.
Showing what you can do, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Knowing that inside you can bring joy and amazement and hit their emotions.
Yeah. Did you get the job?
Not for that one, actually. I haven't got back to me. They're going to get back to me on the 1st of January.
Okay. Good luck.
Hopefully. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to get that one. Sorry, I keep moving your microphone.
That's okay.
Do you know if there's much improvisation in magic?
Again, it depends on the magician. Yes, some magicians will improvise and not go in with a set routine or a set idea of what they're going to do. And some will not. Some will have a plan. I mean, I've got set routines, but with a deck of cards, in theory, I could do 20 minutes of magic without kind of really thinking, just kind of change it up as need be.
Right. That's cool. So you improvise on things that you've already learnt in the past?
Yeah.
Pull them out of the bag, ready to go.
There's a lot of improvisation with skill and everything else when you're sat at home or to other magicians and stuff like that, but you would never do it to a live audience. Mm-hmm. Because if you improvise something you haven't practiced, you might screw it up, it might look crap. And again, in theory, you're getting paid.
Yeah, true.
So if you're getting paid to perform and you're rubbish, then...
Yeah, you've lost the job. You'll get a bad review.
Exactly.
In future, you won't get hired again. That's very harsh.
Word of mouth is like the biggest employer, but it's also the biggest downfall.
The what? Sorry, the biggest employer is also the biggest handful.
Downfall.
Oh, downfall.
Yeah, so
right.
word of mouth. So obviously, if you're great, they say that you would tell 1 in 10 people about something that's great happened. If you're crap, they tell you that you tell 1 in 5, or even not a higher number than that. So you tell more people about a bad experience than you do a good experience.
Oh God,
so
that's horrific. Has anything like that happened to you before?
I had one gig. So it was my first year of performing. I'd for 4 weeks prior to it, I was working in the Odeon in Bournemouth for them, doing magic, which was fantastic. I was dressed as an employee.
Cool.
One weekend was a Harry Potter release, or the Fantastic Beasts release, and that was the best weekend, because obviously everyone likes a bit of magic anyway, because they're going to see Harry Potter, whether they're old, young, family, whatever. Yeah. So I'm dressed as an employee. They'd asked me silly questions I didn't know any of the answers to, because I didn't work for the Odeon. I was just there as a magician, undercover. Okay. And I go up to people and kind of then just going, blah, blah, blah. I have free drink tokens to give out, which luckily they done on playing card size. But I kind of done this thing, so I kind of go, what I want you to do is think of a drink for me and then predict what drink they were thinking of, or I've done the elastic band, some SpongeBob stuff, or some card stuff, and so that was quite fun because no one was expecting it.
Yes, it's very out of the blue.
Yeah.
Were you dressed in the whole Odeon outfit?
The whole Odeon outfit was on and everything else. They always had a member of staff with me because obviously I wasn't employed. I couldn't go and deal with inquiries or issues or anything like that. I wasn't insured to. I was only insured to kind of perform some magic.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds fun. Are you into the cosplay side of things at all, like dressing up as a wizard?
No.
Okay, understandable.
No, again, so in February, was it this year? God, time disappeared. Yeah, I think it was this year in February. I had a child's 11-year-old birthday party, and she had a Harry Potter theme. So I bought a hat and a robe and stuff, but the robe didn't have pockets, so I needed pockets to do and stuff like that, so I can wear it.
So of course, yeah.
I did kind of buy with the thought of doing it, but yeah, because obviously you need certain pocket space.
Mm-hmm. Do you use pockets with your tricks?
I keep cards in pockets, so it's just I go from one pocket to the next. So once I do something, I can pull it away.
Okay, that sounds like fun. So you just had the little wizard hat. I think I saw.
No, I didn't wear a hat.
Oh, you didn't
I
wear
took a photo
hat?
with a hat on, but I didn't wear a hat at the end.
Fair enough.
I think the way she set up pretty good actually. So she had however many kids were there, and each each school, so Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, whatever, Slytherin. Obviously not a Harry Potter fan. My wife is. She'll kill me. Slytherin, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Slytherin. I think I've been categorised as Slytherin. Perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bad person.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think you'd be?
A Hufflepuff or something.
That's what I thought, actually. Yeah.
One of the ones which no one really cares about.
No, I'm sure a lot of people care about you as a magician.
But yeah, so she had to set up for 4 corners done 4 different things. So I was a magic corner. One of them, she had like scary, creepy crawlies, like snakes and spiders and stuff like that. So we only had to do like little groups, and they worked out really well actually. So it's quite fun.
That's wonderful. That was a parent organising that for their child.
Yeah.
Wow. How old was this child?
So it's her 11th birthday.
Wow. Oof, that's inspired me to be a great parent, arranging these different things.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you ever go into because you said you did a Halloween gig as well?
Yeah, so it's for Crewkern, a community centre in Crewkern. So obviously where they've not been able to hold any events or anything like that, they're obviously, like a lot of places, struggling with funding. Right. So it was a charity gig. It was my wife's friend, so I'd done it to help her out, to encourage more people to come along. And people who came up to me after said they only came along because they heard I was a magician. So it worked. So we've got more people there, made more money for charity, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, of course. Helping the people, yeah.
Yeah.
Through magic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Whatever we can do, isn't it?
And true that. Even if we can't summon, I suppose in a way you are, using magic to summon a bowl of food, you're using your magic to earn money to then summon a bowl of food.
Yeah, as such.
Fab. You're a sorcerer. Magician.
Yeah.
Do you ever, because you said about the ring floating up and you use it like a marriage sort of story, like this, the marriage going up and down. Did you ever include stories in your Halloweeny magic tricks as well? So
the Halloweeny one, I've posted a couple of them on Instagram. So there are a couple of them on there.
I didn't actually spot any of them. So I didn't look long enough. I'm sorry.
Just shake my head in shame. Yeah, so did I? No, because it was all kind of, I'd done it more ghost related and stuff like that, but it was fun and ghosts. It really is. Again, until lockdown, I've done children's parties, but not as a proper children's magician, more as a magician who does a couple of tricks for children. Mm-hmm. But now I've kind of worked on, and that Halloween kind of helped me do it more of a children's show. So I've got that as well, kind of ready to go. So an hour and a half kind of full show where I'll do everything and parents can kind of enjoy it as well. Oh yeah, of course. You want to switch it up to the parents as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. And, I spoke to a lot of experienced children's magicians before I kind of did it. And, the feedback I got is if you don't get the parent involved, they sit along the sides of whatever hall or room you're in and they just chat to each other. Yeah. So actually get them involved. I think it's okay. Yeah, actually get them involved, and then that way, they can still chat amongst each other, but actually they also have more control over children. So, something to try. Yes, by getting them involved in the whole process, you're not having to. Have you ever had to sort of babysit whilst being a magician? No. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Have you ever had a situation where the kids go a bit wild and you have to call the parents over? No, not. Again, I've been quite lucky where the parties I've done, the parents have been quite responsible and that's really kind of watching anyway. So definitely, yeah. Have you ever seen in Shrek or films like that where they include a joke that kids wouldn't get but the adults would get? Yep. Do you ever do that in your magic tricks? No. Okay. Again, so the actual show side of things for children was something new. Will I? Probably not. And only because, to me, there's certain tricks which, and again, I'll probably piss off the magic community a wee bit, but there's certain tricks which people do for children which belittle the child. So the breakaway wand. So the one where they hand the child the wand and the wand automatically breaks on them. And then they're like, oh, what have you done to my wand? Blah, 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 blah. Now, it's funny for everyone else apart from that one child. Of course, yeah. So that one child is probably on the stage, probably going, oh, what have I done to this wand? And could get upset. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of trying to belittle someone. Yeah. Now children will heckle, and they do heckle. Oh. And so you can have a laugh with heckle. So I did a trick where it's got 3 balls in a tube. And on the tube, it's actually got the balls on it. So it's got I think it goes red, green, yellow. So I was like, what ball goes first? And they're like, yellow. It's like, what ball goes first? Yellow. What does it say? Yellow. It's red, isn't it? Yeah. And so you can have interaction and have fun that way. Yeah. But to me, I don't like the idea of belittling them or singling out one child. Now, if you're doing something, and I've got an idea from a friend where basically you've got a bag, and a child comes up and takes something from the bag, and it's a sweet.
Yeah.
And an adult comes up and takes something from a bag, it's like a gruesome sweet, like an eyeball sweet or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fun. You can pick on the parents, but let them know beforehand. We're going to do this. It's harmless, blah, 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 blah. Especially the biggest, burliest man in there.
Yes, of course, yeah.
But let him know beforehand that this is what you might be doing. So every time he goes in the bag, he's going to get some horrible, gruesome type sweet, play up a little bit like, well, if a child gets a nice sweet.
Yeah.
So let them know, because that's funny to the children.
Yes.
It's not picking on one single child. You're not picking on the adult, because you kind of let them know what you're going to do, and they understand it's for the children.
Yeah, totally.
So
they don't feel picked on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very respectful. I hadn't even thought of the because I've always thought with magic there's like animal cruelty. I assume you don't ever go into that.
Do you know what? We've had pet rats in the past.
Okay.
And rats are obviously quite intelligent animals.
Yeah.
And I've tried with a couple of them to train them, and I was doing something once with a bit of paper, so it's on my shoulder, and I'd done some bit of paper for him to kind of take away and kind of come back, and he just ran off with the paper. So I tried it a couple of times and then kind of gave up.
Oh man. There's no process of them getting hurt, though. Of
course not. No.
Yeah, that's because I was thinking like the ethical side of magic. I've only ever thought of the animals but getting hurt, but never thought of people being belittled, like you were saying about Paul McKenna making people run around like chickens. Like,
yeah, I think obviously before they did that, they probably signed a release to say they're happy to run around like chickens.
Of course.
So before if you go there and see that kind of show, you respect that kind of thing to happen. I think the other thing, again, people were telling me that they might ask a child what they want to be when they grow up. And if a child says a bin man, don't go, you want to be a bin man? Oh, what do your parents do? Blah, blah, blah. Live on the council estate. Don't do that. You kind of go, wow, that's really cool. Why do you want to be a bin man? There's that great lorry which lifts up the stuff and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And actually, show interest in them. I'm a salesman. I've always worked in sales.
Oh, fabulous. Nice.
So when you're interacting with someone, you don't kind of go, oh, I want the latest iPhone. No, you don't want that rubbish. You want this. It's like, why do you want it? What perks? What features do you like about it? I like this. I don't work in phones.
Okay.
But what features do you like about it? I like this and this. Well, the iPhone's great, but actually this Samsung does exactly the same and it's got a faster memory. And that's how you kind of, as a salesperson, listen to what they want and then get them to do what you want.
Yeah, you sort of become their friend a little bit.
Yeah, of course
first.
you do.
Fab, that's clever, yeah. I've been getting into a bit of that myself, and I've actually been learning it through a hostage negotiation program on because the idea is making the other person calm. And I tried it. I called up a few businesses in the area, and I was trying to use because there's like, do you know about different tones of voice for salesmen? And like there's like a calming tone of voice, and then there's like a really cheery tone of voice, and it goes through it.
Yeah, it's all simple stuff. And I mean, the sales, especially phone sales or anything like that, if you're on the phone and you're talking to people, smile. The moment you smile when you're talking on the phone, you come across happier.
Right.
The other thing is,
okay.
So I've worked in the mobile phone industry, banking for a long time, and then recently the motor industry.
Yeah.
And all industries, if you bullshit someone, they'll find out.
Yeah.
So if you make a mistake, own up to it. Because people understand people are human. If you constantly make mistakes, you're crap and you should go.
Yeah.
But if you make a mistake, rather than kind of go, oh, this, and this, and try to BS your way through it, you're never going to get anywhere. Just own up to it. Because
100%.
everyone they might shout, or you go, oh, bloody hell. Not bloody hell, with motor industry, they swear a lot worse. Effing whatever.
Yeah.
They might do that, but next time you phone up, actually, you're honest and they'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind, just to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honesty is always the best policy, especially in sales.
Of course, yeah.
Because, like I said, everyone's going to screw up at some point. There's no one perfect.
Yeah, of course. Whatever business you're in, you can totally mess it up.
Yeah.
I've done that as an actor on stage, forgetting lines and such. And so, yeah, there's no hiding away from it at that point.
No, and it's a part of life. I was watching on Facebook the other day, actually, the moment that some of these actors have kind of forgot their lines, but actually they've kept it in the film. So there was one where Jim Carrey, one where he plays some ugly old dude, and he's looking after some kids. I don't know the film.
I haven't heard of it, actually.
It's a kid's film, but there's one bit, and he's like, the why are you here? And the child can't say something. He goes, what's that line again? And the child goes, blah, blah, blah. And then he kind of says the line as it should be, but they kept it in there because the way he just kind of Jim Carrey-esqued it.
Yes, of course.
The way he kind of did it, they kind of kept it in there because it's quite funny.
Yeah.
Whereas actually he was just asking for the line because he forgot it.
And I suppose to the audience it comes across like this old man is like...
A little old fuddy-duddy, yeah, a bit brain scattered and...
That's clever. I'm going to look that clip up after this.
Yeah.
Wow. Jim Carrey is phenomenal.
You tried
really is, yeah. Do you know of any good films about magic?
I think so. You've got obviously the Now You See Me 1 and 2.
Oh, I've seen the first one, yeah.
They're okay. Obviously, again, we're a movie about magic. You've got The Prestige, which I think is I get confused. There's two, the Prestige and The Illusionist. One's got Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman in.
Oh, okay. I'll
quite
look that one up.
good. Yeah, there's a few about. So
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, if you've got YouTube or Netflix, watch Dan Brown stuff. They're always good.
I'll have a look. Do you consider David Blaine's work as magic, or is that more human endurance? Sort of?
Depends what part of it is we're looking at. The magic is magic. The human endurance is human endurance. I mean, he is a stunt magician, I guess would be the best way to describe him. He does a lot of close-up stuff. So he started off obviously doing the street magic. For walking up to strangers, doing magic for them on the street and then walking off.
Okay.
So that's how he started before he'd done any of the big stunt stuff. And then as he got famous, he started to do it for famous people rather than just random people on the street.
Yeah.
So I think there was recently Sky showed one of his TV shows from a couple of years ago, which he did with famous people in their houses.
Okay.
So
I don't suppose you can remember his name.
Oh no, it's just a David Blaine special.
Oh, it was David Blaine.
Yeah, it was David Blaine.
Oh, brilliant! He's working up the ladder.
He's quite high up the ladder.
Yeah.
He's quite an exclusive person to get hold of, I think. Even David Copperfield in the magic community, he comes out a little bit and kind of interacts with people. Okay. David Blaine, I think, is a little bit more kind of secluded.
Okay, understand. He seems to be a bit of an introvert, actually. I watched a podcast of his recently.
I don't know the guy, but I hear mixed things that some of it's part of the act, which he plays all the time, some of it's not.
Right.
So I don't know how much is or how much isn't.
So maybe it's not introvertedness, maybe it's mysterious holding back. So you're like,
I don't know. Again, I've never met him, but I've heard from people who have and people who know him closer. Kind of, he can be and he can't be. It just depends on where he is and what he's doing, who's around.
Okay. Did you see his Ascension series? That was incredible.
Yeah.
He floats up the sky.
Yeah, again, to me, I don't know what they did with all the balloons in the end.
Of course,
that was my kind of thinking on it, on the whole environmental side of things and all that plastic. That's a lot of helium balloons.
That is.
So, but it was really interesting to watch, who comes up with that idea that actually, even after watching the cartoon Up, he suddenly thinks, what I'm going to do? I'm going to strap as many helium balloons as I can. I'm going to float up to the sky. Then when I'm at a certain height, I can let him go and skydive.
Total madman.
Yeah.
Why not? You can do it. Well, environmental side of things, but...
Yeah, but even just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't watch a film and think to myself, do you know what? Everyone wants to fly. I think it'd be awesome. But I don't think to myself, I'll just strap lots of helium balloons and see how it goes.
Yeah, of course. Even if you have the money, why does the thought pop in your head?
Yeah.
Brilliant. He's a unique man. Did you see his ice thing where he froze himself in a block of ice?
Yeah, he did that for, was it 2-3 days?
I'm not sure.
Was it that one? I don't know. He's done a lot of things, hasn't he? He's done one where he was buried alive, and obviously the box in London. And
oh, I saw that one. Yeah, that's apparently the icebox messed his head up. He started to hallucinate because of how he was feeling, and he reached out to grab the chainsaw as it was going by.
Wouldn't surprise me. That couldn't have been a nice feeling. Even if you practice for it, it can't be nice.
I suppose is that magic to you?
I would say that's more of an entertainment stunt type thing rather than magic. If there's nothing magical about it, obviously the training you would have to go through for anything like that.
Of course.
Would be crazy. But again, is it the magic box? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so
personally.
Either. Yeah, you never know. Well, we have about 50 seconds left.
Okay.
What have you thought of this?
It's been cool. It's good to chat. I love talking magic, so...
another opportunity to talk about magic.
Yeah.
You said you were on a few other podcasts. Was it?
Yeah, so Booze Your Daddy was one.
Boo to your daddy.
Booze Your Daddy.
Bruise.
Booze. As in
Booze.
boo.
Oh, okay.
Booze Your Daddy. He's a guy in America, New York City. So he's just released that one. I done one called Marvin's World.
Okay.
He's a comedian, so he's just talking to other performers. There's S-Cube TV, which is like an Indian/American vodcast.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's on
Okay.
YouTube, I believe. That's about half an hour of me, and it's got some magic and stuff on it. So,
Cool.
and obviously, I'm on social media at Chris Howat Magic.
Yep.
1T in Howat.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Fab. Well, this has been fun. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Bye.